Hi and welcome to our final vlog in our Enchanted Princess Norway and Iceland vlog series. In this episode, we check out what the shops of Princess have to offer. There's flash mob madness in the main piazza. We find out that the house doesn't always win. We experience some absolutely superb evening entertainment on our final evening on board. And be sure to stick around to find out if our disembarkation was a breeze.
Hi, I'm Tom.
And I'm Dom.
And we are Tom and Dom Travel.
And welcome to day 14, our last sea day.
Well, this is our last full day on board Enchanted Princess.
Yep, it's gone so quick, and after a couple of hiccups and teething bits and bobs here and there, we got to say we've had an absolutely fantastic time. We'll put together our review and our highlights, and that'll be out shortly, just covering all of the good things and the few bad things that have happened to us on board. But overall, we've had an absolutely fantastic time.
But let's talk about today. So we started the day off having breakfast.
Yep, so straight up to the buffet again, because it was a bit of a late night last night. So quick buffet breakfast, because we didn't actually get up for breakfast in the main dining room. No surprise there. Again, you know, we've been eating so much over the course of these 2 weeks. It was a really quick, light breakfast because, you know, we planned to go to the main dining room for lunch today as well.
Yeah, and then after breakfast, we headed out for a wander around the ship.
As it's our last sea day, we wanted to make the most of it. So we did a bit of exploring around Enchanted Princess, making sure we didn't miss anything. We've put together a ship tour, so make sure you check that out. I'll put the link on screen and in the description.
Yes, so the duty-free shops on board do actually do some really good offers. We've purchased a few things, so and we found them to be cheaper on the ship than they were on land, because we've been to Iceland and Norway, but also cheaper than they are in the UK. So it was definitely worth doing a few purchases, wasn't it?
No, absolutely was. And, you know, in terms of the selection, you know, they've got extensive selection of just about everything. What really impressed us is while we were on board Enchanted, they actually released or introduced their Pandora section on board.
Yeah, so it's a new selection of jewellery, particularly charms for jewellery and bracelets in particular. So that's worth a look, and it was quite interesting to see that, wasn't it?
It was. The shops on board Princess have got an extensive range of items for you to purchase and a huge selection of duty-free, including alcohol, spirits, cigarettes and tobacco. And the prices are pretty good, aren't they?
They are, but we would recommend, even though we did a few purchases on the last day, is make sure you check up on the first few days of your cruise the amount of stock that they have, because there are certain items that have sold out on board. As we were at that end of the ship where the Princess shops are, we could hear something going on in the theatre. So we headed in to have a look what was happening.
Yes, in the Princess Theatre this morning, they were having a chef demonstration. So the head chef on board was on the main stage, and they were cooking up a treat and showing us how they do things. It was really quite interesting.
Yeah, it was. It was like watching Ready Steady Cook, but at sea, or I suppose Saturday Kitchen at sea. I don't know, but they're all British TV shows. So if you're not British, I don't know what the equivalent is in the US or somewhere else, but it was a cooking demonstration nonetheless.
It was quite busy, really, really interesting. I've never thought, oh, I'm going to go and sit and watch a cooking demonstration, but I got to say, I did learn a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be attempting flambeing at home, will you, and things, but it was nice to watch.
After the cooking demonstration in the Princess Theatre, we decided to make the most of being at sea and the beautiful weather. So we went out onto the prom deck on deck 7.
Out on the prom, it was great to have a walk around, wasn't it? Although not too many people out on the prom, because there's not much of a promenade deck really, is there? Like we've mentioned in our previous videos, it's not a wraparound and the space is not huge. But most people seem to be up outside on the top deck. After our walk on the prom deck, we then headed to lunch.
Lunch on sea days is served in the CAPRI restaurant on deck 6.
Yeah, and it was a nice quick lunch, wasn't it? We only had 2 courses today because we are feeling very full at this point in the cruise. So for starters, I went straight into the pasta. So I had pasta tagliarini. Basically, it's like tagliatelle pasta with meatballs.
And I opted to have the wagon wheel pasta with sausage and green peas, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And I mean, it was beautiful. I think the food has sort of just got better and better and better throughout the cruise.
It has got
or just
better, hasn't it?
My choices might have improved slightly, but it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And then for dessert, I had to go for the pineapple trifle. And those of you that are regular viewers to our vlogs know that I do love a trifle. It was okay. I wouldn't say it was the best trifle I've had, but it was okay.
And I went for the chocolate pecan pie and I loved it. As I've said before, love anything chocolate related, so no complaints at all.
So yeah, very, very quick sort of lunch. You know, service was very good.
Yeah.
We were quite impressed because normally on sea days, it can be very, very busy in the main dining room.
Yeah. But I think people wanted to be outside today, which is exactly where we headed after our lunch.
We wanted to make the most of the glorious weather and the pool deck that we kind of hadn't really sort of visited or used on this cruise because it's been cold and rainy most of the time. As it was a glorious sunny day, we decided to spend some time up on the pool deck enjoying the sunshine.
Yes, we did. And at this point, there was an announcement by the captain that there was a medical emergency on board and that the passenger involved had to be airlifted off the ship. So a lot of the people on board, wasn't it? They all kind of crowded to the top deck of the ship to witness the helicopter arriving and the person to be airlifted off. We really were in 2 minds whether to show anything of this, but we've chosen not to show any images of that, obviously to protect the dignity of the person who was involved in the incident. But we do wish them well and we hope that they are much better now. Yeah,
and all credit to the Coast Guard and the helicopter crew. They did an absolutely amazing job. Enchanted Princess doesn't have a designated helipad, so essentially they have to clear the sports centre.
Airlift them from the deck next to the sports centre, really, isn't it? So not an easy job at all. So well done to everyone involved.
We then spent the afternoon just relaxing by the pool, enjoying the beautiful British weather. It was there to welcome us back.
Yeah.
A few cocktails. We actually, they've got scoops on Enchanted Princess, and you get free ice cream up on the pool deck.
You do. So we gave one of those a try, didn't we? Yeah. Very nice. It was finally warm enough to try a Scoops ice cream. And they were available free of charge from the kiosk on the pool deck. So great little addition there.
Yeah. Most places, or most cruise ships tend to have a paid for gelato. Enchanted does as well. But it's also got this lovely little ice cream parlour that you don't have to pay for, which is fantastic.
Yeah, the weather was much better to be sitting out. So we sat out there for a good couple of hours, really, didn't we? Just enjoying being back outside and being able to sit outside where we weren't freezing. So lots going on as always. For some reason the hot tubs always seem to be absolutely packed, didn't they? So lots of people in the hot tubs, lots of brave people really in the swimming pools, but it was good to be back out on deck.
After a couple of hours on the top deck, sunning ourselves and making the most of the beautiful weather, we started now to feel a little bit peckish.
Well, you caught the smell of the pizza cooking, really, didn't you? And then convinced us both to try a slice. So, once again, eating when we shouldn't have been, probably, because it's dear in a few hours. But we couldn't resist it, could we? And their pizzas are beautiful.
Yeah, so slices up on deck 14, just by the pool. Absolutely beautiful, freshly made pizza. You can stand there and watch them make it. And he literally just brought out this fresh margarita, and I couldn't say no. And neither could you.
No, definitely not. So we did have a slice or two each, didn't we?
We did. We'd had a light breakfast.
Yeah.
We'd had a light lunch, so we thought, oh, go on, we'll treat ourselves. And we're only on board for one more day.
Then, as we had seen for most of this cruise, on and off, was that there was a flash mob that was going to be happening on the last day. And we'd seen a little bit of rehearsals happening around the ship, hadn't we, with Jason? So we thought, right, we'd head down to the atrium where we knew the flash mob would be taking place to go and see what happens.
Yeah.
We'd got there early, so then once again Dom spotted the gelato ice cream in the corner. So ice cream for the second time today, maybe third, because did we have it with dessert? I can't remember now. It could be the third time we've had ice cream today, so we decided to give the gelato a try.
Myself and Tom have never purchased onboard gelato. We've always found that the desserts and the ice creams and the sorbets that are available in the dining rooms and in the main buffets have always sort of sufficed. But we thought, go on, let's try, give it a try. So we basically had a scoop. The gelato on board most Princess ships have been officially certified by the Italian Gelato organisation. So, you know, you can guarantee that it's going to be good gelato, and we both really enjoyed it. You know, it was nice. Do I think I can go on a cruise ship and avoid gelato in future? Absolutely, but it was nice. It was very refreshing, and it was an experience that neither of us sort of had tried before.
No, please make sure you fact check who certified that gelato, because I don't think it was the Italian Gelato Association.
Do you know what? I bet you it was. So then it was time for the flash mob. And as Tom said, you know, we'd been watching the rehearsals, we'd been speaking to Jason, all of the crews regarding this, and he sort of kept reminding us to attend. So we got prime position up on deck 6, just so that we could see everything. And to be fair, it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, fair play to all the people who were involved, because he did have quite a lot of people involved, and they'd given up a lot of time on their cruise to learn the dance to this flash mob. So it was definitely worth watching. So if you get a flash mob on your cruise, give it a go. Yeah,
so Jason basically opened the flash mob up to passengers on our first or second day of the cruise, and pretty much they've been attending rehearsals every day.
No, every sea day.
Every sea day. So they've given up, like Tom said, quite a lot of their time to do it, but it was absolutely fantastic. By now, on all of the boards and the screens on Enchanted Princess was the disembarkation times. So that's when you know it's coming to an end.
Yeah, definitely. So you can feel that they're already prepping you to get off.
Yeah.
Which is not good news when you're not ready to. But I suppose it was inevitable, wasn't it? Anyway, we headed back to the room, got ourselves ready for our last evening on board, and then headed out to the restaurant once again.
So, as per usual, we were in the Amalfi Main dining room on deck 6 towards the aft of Princess, and pretty much after the first couple of nights, those regular viewers know it was a little bit of a disaster, but we found the Amalfi to be absolutely superb.
What a great restaurant it's been. The service has been spectacular.
Top notch.
Have no further complaints to add.
For our starters then, we both decided to go for the tagliatelle.
It's the second time I had tagliatelle today, but I've completely forgot, in all honesty with you, that I'd had it for lunch until it arrived on the table. Then I was like, oh, I had tagliatelle for lunch. But the pasta on board is great, so why not?
Yeah, no, absolutely phenomenal. really, I think I've said this for the last 5 vlogs, for the past 5 days. The pasta on board Enchanted Princess has been absolutely spectacular, and I have loved every single minute of it. So I had to have that for my little starter.
Yeah, yeah. And then one of the cruise favourites, we both had surf and turf. So it was small prawn, shrimp, and a piece of fillet steak. With
a selection of roasted potatoes and vegetables. And I've got to say...
It's great, wasn't it?
Magnificent.
Really good. For an MDR meal, really good, top notch.
Yeah. You know, you pay a lot of money for that in the Crown Grill.
Yeah.
And no, they absolutely surpassed themselves. It was a fantastic last evening meal.
It was. Then for dessert, I had the cherry pie, and it was once again very nice. Really enjoyed it. It was a la mode.
And I had the gelato al diplomat, which was like a baked Alaska. Now, I don't know why I picked this, because I picked it when we were on Sky.
And you weren't very keen.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah. And it wasn't until it came in front of you that you went, oh, I've had this before.
And I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I'm not a lover of meringue, and obviously this is like an ice cream cake that's covered in meringue, and yeah, it's just not my cup of tea at all.
No, you would have preferred my cherry pie.
Yeah, I should have had that.
Never mind, never mind. So that was our last meal, and like majority, 99% of our meals are in the MDR, it was great.
And even though we'd purchased a Princess Plus package before we boarded, which meant all of our gratuities were included, because of the service that we'd had in Amalfi, we tipped our waiters as well, didn't we?
We did. They were fantastic.
They were amazing.
And they very much deserved that tip. So thank you very much to everyone who helped us in the restaurant. After dinner, we then headed to VISTA Lounge for the start of what turned out to be an action-packed evening, didn't it?
Yeah, so Enchanted Princess Entertainment crew had absolutely so much going on board this evening.
Yeah.
And we really weren't expecting it.
Not as much as it did. So we started off, as I said, in VISTA Lounge with a quick drink and watching Jamie's band, which is the onboard party band that often performed in VISTA Lounge every evening.
And the main piazza.
And the main piazza, yeah, definitely.
So we had a few drinks in VISTA, and then we realised that we actually had some money left on our casino account. Now, we hadn't been to the casino for a few nights because we'd just been so busy. So we thought, right, you know, if you add money to your onboard casino account, if you don't cash it out or use it, you lose it.
Yeah, so it was time to use it and cash it out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, which is exactly what we did. Lucky for us, we won a little bit more money than what we'd started off with. We had
about $30 on the onboard account, on the casino account. So we thought, oh, go on, we'll spend 10 and we'll see how much we get out of it.
Yeah.
And we came out with $120.
Winner, winner.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
So straight away cashed that out and headed up to the room just to drop the money off back in the safe, didn't we?
Yeah.
And when we got to the room, we noticed our certificates for crossing the Arctic Circle had arrived, which we were very pleased about.
Very excited about, actually.
But it has started a little bit of a challenge for us.
Crossing the line is an ancient old naval seafaring tradition where if you cross the line like the equator, the international date line, the Arctic Circle, you basically get a certificate of achievement. Because on Enchanted Princess we crossed the Arctic Circle, we weren't expecting it. We'd heard rumours that we got a certificate, but we were really, really surprised I'm really excited when we walked into the cabin and we saw the certificates. Yeah. But it has started off a little bit of a competition because now we want to collect all the rest.
Yes, so look out for a cruise when we're crossing the equator.
Yeah.
Who knows when that'll be though. After we had dropped off our winnings and had a little party over our certificate, we headed straight back down to the atrium to grab a drink.
And lo and behold, in the main atrium, there was another event happening, and this time it was Dancing with the Crew. So a spin-off of Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, little competition where different members of crew had been put into teams of 2 and had to compete in various different dance styles on who could be the best and who could be the funniest, who could be the most entertaining, really. And it was great.
It was.
It was hilarious, wasn't it? And I think I've never seen the atrium this busy. We thought it was busy the other day, and today it was even busier.
Yeah, it was so, everybody was laughing. Everybody was just having an absolutely fantastic time. It was hosted by cruise director Aaron. It was an absolutely fantastic show. And the star of the show, who basically stole it, was cruise director Dan.
Yeah, amazing. Absolutely hilarious.
Had us all in hysterics.
If you are on a ship with Dan, you will not regret it because he is just
brilliant,
hilarious. Yeah, fantastic. Right, so then we had to run, didn't we? Because we got so carried away with this dance off that we had to run to the theatre because, again, another epic performance was awaiting us from Max Himmelreich. Have I said his name right?
You have.
And Max was the guest tenor in rock opera earlier on in the cruise, and tonight was his solo performance, and he did not disappoint at all. He was epic.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. The range of vocals on him, incredible. Yeah. Incredible. Yeah. Really, really good show. He sang a number of hits, you know, from different genres, from opera to... He was incredible.
Yeah, if you... I can't keep saying this. If you're on a cruise with Max this time, please make sure you go and see him because you're missing out if you do not. He is definitely worth a watch. Once the show with Max had finished, we headed to Good Spirits for a quick drink because, as we've said many times now, Good Spirits was our favourite bar on board and we wanted to get one last ultimate gin and tonic in.
Yeah, so as it was our last evening, you know, we had to. And yeah, beautiful, love Good Spirits. If you're on board, you know, you'll love it as well. After a quick drink in Good Spirits, we then made our way to Princess Live for their music quiz. And what we did notice was that it was pretty quiet by now. Yeah, as is often the case on the last night of the cruise, people tend to go to bed, wind down a little bit earlier because it is an early start tomorrow. So we joined in the quiz, had a few more drinks, had a few conversations with our fellow passengers and just really enjoyed our last evening on board. It was quite sad, really. It was sad, but all good things come to an end, I suppose. Can't stay on a cruise ship forever. Well, maybe one day. Brilliant. So after that, it was time to head to bed. Yep, so straight back to the cabin and, you know, we'd had it pretty much every single night of the cruise so far, so we had to have a little bit of room service for one last time. Last time room service, then we packed our final bits in the case, put our cases outside the door, which is important to do if you want those taken off the ship for you, and then we headed to bed. After a few hours sleep, well, more than a few. Yeah, we woke up probably about 6:30, didn't we, in the morning. It's quite normal on disembarkation day to get up early because people want to get off the ship very quickly and the ship needs to turn around ready for the new guests. So we got up, got ourselves ready, put our final bits in our hand luggage, and headed out of the room for the last time. Yeah, so we left our room all packed and ready to disembark around 7:30. So it is really early. It is, well, early for us. Some people love getting off early. So if it's for you, there's every opportunity to leave early. But for us, 7:30, 8 o'clock is a little bit too early for us.
So we headed to the main dining room for breakfast.
Yeah, so on disembarkation day, the buffet up on deck 14 is open, but also the main dining room, the Capri restaurant on deck 6 for a final sit-down breakfast. And as we hadn't really made it to the main dining room for breakfast during the course of this cruise, we thought, all right, we better go, and we did.
Yeah, it was a good experience. And the good thing about going to the main dining room for breakfast on the final days, it's a little bit more calm than it is in the buffet, which in our experience can be quite manic. We had a full English breakfast, both of us. Another great breakfast really on board, but we didn't want to hang about too long because we wanted to get off the ship, because it makes it easier really to get our luggage quickly and head out of Southampton as quick as you can. Yeah.
The last time on Sky Princess, the disembarkation was absolutely chaotic. If you haven't seen that video, I'll pop a link on screen now, but it was a really, really bad experience. So we really wanted to miss all of that. And we were pretty much off Enchanted by 8:20. It was the smoothest disembarkation we'd ever had.
Much, much better. No problems at all. Southampton seemed to be a bit quieter today because last time, as Dom said, the traffic was a nightmare. So good disembarkation experience this time.
And then it was all over.
And that's it. We were off the ship and that was the end of our cruise. So what we will do though, we'll do a final vlog in the series where we talk about our highs and our lows of the cruise, what was good, what was not so good. So keep an eye out for that because that will be coming soon.
We just want to say thank you to everybody that's watched, liked, commented and supported us. We both really, really appreciate it. As always, if you've got any comments, just pop them in the box below and we'll get back to you. And
please don't forget to like and subscribe. And we've got lots more cruises coming up, so we can't wait to tell you about them.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to check us out on social media.